Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. And Nelson talk, Nelson. Princess, they came. Magic's bets in the cut, got the game on lock. Flipping dimes, calling shots, every move non-stop. 615, parlay slayer, player odds like dice. In the trap house, betting lines, making racks feel nice. Pushing the line, we don't fold, don't shy. Cashing tickets, counting green to the sky. On the podcast, we ball, roll the spread. Money talk, never walk, bets ahead. Parlay slayer stacking chips like you bricks. Magic's calling plays, mixing schemes so slick. Numbers on the board, all these digits don't lie. In this trap house sports, best we fly. Pushing the line, we don't fold, don't shy. Cashing tickets, counting green to the sky. On the podcast we ball, roll the spread. Money talk, never walk, bets ahead. Got your bankroll rising like the early morning sun. From parlays to straight plays, we stun. Twisted stats, breaking news, all for the gain. In this world of odds, we reign. Lines moving swift like the weight in the night. Heavy hitters in this game got the insight. Magic's with the 10, 615 with the hit. Podcast worldwide, see us never miss.
What's up, people?
Yo, yo, yo.
Welcome to the NFL preview for the Week 18. Oh man, it's been a long season, but it seems so short.
I'm sad to see you go.
But that means we have to come up with other content, which we have some other stuff in the works. We're still gonna try to do a weekly show. We might jumble some stuff together. It might be quick shows, it might be quick reels, it might be YouTube shorts, but we're gonna keep stuff coming to you.
We got y'all. Don't worry about it.
We might even record me and Mike arguing all the damn time on Call of Duty and put it on here.
I just want to stay alive. That's all.
Man. So what did you think about those games yesterday?
Um, I'm high and low about all four teams. It really, what happened was what I thought would happen. Um, the Browns, we'll start with that game. After the game, they fired their offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and their offensive line coach Andy Dickerson. Um, right now, Tommy Reese, who's the tight ends and the passing game court technician, I
Former
don't
Notre Dame quarterback, right?
huh?
Former Notre Dame quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, he is the front runner to get the job because he's already in the organization. But it is talks of if the Titans coach Brian Callahan gets fired, and he may come over, and there's also talks of Alex Van Pelt. So we'll see. Um, congratulations to Jerry Judy for setting the single season reception record at 90. I don't think nobody's seen Jerry Judy get 90 catches and 1,200 yards this season. Right now, currently, he is number three in receiving yards. But that's before the noon game start. What else do we have? A source close to the Browns said that Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry will return. You can take it to the bank. Those was his exact words. And the dilemma Cleveland has finally, Miles Garrett and Joel Bitonio, um, they're not committing to the Browns. They're in wait and see mode to see what happens in the offseason, if they will compete. And if not, they're not above asking for a trade.
Mm. Well, the thing with Ken Dorsey to me is um, he failed in Buffalo.
He
So
did. This just goes to my theory of if you take away the greatest player that person had and you put them somewhere to where they actually have to coach, can they do it?
yep. Look at what's his name in Denver, head coach Sean Payton.
Sean Payton.
Hey man, he took away Russell Wilson, who had a very good year this year.
He did.
Took a rookie quarterback, and he got them boys playing for playoffs.
He know what he doing.
Man,
You
I
got
mean,
to
I
give it to him.
I questioned what was going on, trying to figure it out my damn self. But I mean, he knew what he was doing.
I did too. On the other side of that game for the Ravens, if we're gonna congratulate Jerry Judy, we definitely have to congratulate Lamar Jackson, man. It's gonna be very difficult to see him probably not win MVP because of Josh Allen. And honestly, Josh Allen not playing today may hurt him in the MVP. Lamar Jackson is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 4,000 yards. Also rushed for over 800. I actually think he got over 900 and 40 touchdown passes. That sounds insane. Also, Derrick Henry was the first player running back in NFL history to have multiple 1,800 yard seasons with 10 touchdown rushes. And I don't think a lot of people knew this, but he was only 79 yards away from getting 2,000 yards this season.
Mm. King Henry still King Henry.
He is still King Henry. It's crazy. The two top running back free agents, both over 1,900 yards this season. That's insane.
And it's funny how people didn't want to pay them boys.
They didn't want to pay him, but I guarantee you now the running backs will start making their money.
And something else that was ironic to the two top running backs getting the yards in the fashion that they did, it was with division rivals.
Yes, it
You let
will.
your top back go to a division rival and run over everybody,
Hmm.
and all you can do is sit there and think about what if.
That is indeed facts. That is indeed facts.
So with this being um it's important to some people this week, and it's not as important to others because most people already have their playoff spot or are not going to push for a better playoff seed. Betting will be difficult. The
Hmm.
best betting advice I can give you today about NFL is don't. I'll have some NBA and some NHL stuff going out later. I
Yeah.
don't think I have anything that I feel confident about in the NFL putting it out. Because a lot of these teams that are pushing for a playoff spot, if they get up, they're gonna go ahead and rest their starters.
Hmm.
Half the league already resting their starters.
Yep. And on that note, he is 100% true. Uh, in betting, T is the white guy on the left shoulder, and I am the devil on the right shoulder. I know y'all are going. I know as betters, y'all are going to bet. Even if we tell y'all not to, I know y'all are going to. He know that. That's why he's smiling. We're telling y'all not to bet. So I know y'all ass is gonna get right off this podcast and go put in some bets. The only advice I can tell you if you do, you got two routes. You can look up the incentives that people have today, and you can bet on that. And before the show came on, me and T was talking. Mike Evans needs 82 yards to get 1,000. Some of y'all are going to go on FanDuel as soon as you hear me say this, and you are going to look for Mike Evans to get 80 yards, and it is not on there. You have to bet 90 or more in order to place a bet for Mike Evans today. That's how they're going to get you today. They already know the incentives. They already know what these players need. You're not finna go in there and outsmart them. Remember, betting and these odds is not meant for you to win.
At
They don't
all.
want you to win.
During the year, I don't think Evans had a line that was over 70 or 75 yards a game. Justin Jefferson didn't have one that was over like 60 or 70 a game. Hell,
Mhm.
Justin Jefferson is 90 or more today.
Yes, they know what they're doing. They are ahead of the game. They're through 5 steps ahead of your one. So you're not finna go outsmart them today. It's not happening. They know the incentives. If you want to bet today, you can try to bet on some of the backups and see if maybe you can hit a parlay or a single bet on a touchdown or something, and you can go with that. Now, the safest game will probably be tonight, the Detroit Minnesota game, because
Yes.
that is the game. that's the game that's everything today. So
It will be a shootout.
yeah, I'm looking for that to be a shootout.
Well, the Chiefs are locked in at number one.
Yep.
You got battles for the number 3, number 5, and number 7 seeds in AFC.
But
Um,
3 is gone now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And as Mike mentioned, the Lions and Vikings, they vie for number one, which
Mhm.
which is crazy because you're in the same division. You got two teams in one division that is so much better than the other teams in the other divisions that they fighting in the last game of the season
Yep.
for the number one spot.
One of those teams is going to be the first team to win 14 or 15 games and not win the division.
Yeah, and then you get the Commanders and Packers. They jockey for number 6 and number 7 spots. Um, I mean, me personally, I mean, I would play for that 6th spot if I was Packers
Mhm.
because I don't want to face Detroit or Minnesota in that first round. Well, they get first round. No, they don't
Well,
have bye.
whoever is the number one
Yeah,
seed gets
they
the
get a
first
bye.
round bye.
Yeah,
Right now, presently constructed, if Washington and Green Bay are fighting for the 7th seed, and whoever loses will play Philadelphia that first next weekend.
I think I'd rather face Philadelphia right now because Jalen Hurts has been out. Um, don't know what his status is for the playoffs.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure you know because you eat, sleep, and breathe Philadelphia.
Well, I mean, he's been on concussion protocol for the last 2 weeks, and he gets another week. I don't know if they'll play Saturday, Sunday. It's a Monday night. Last year they played on Monday night. I doubt they'll play on Monday night this year. So he'll have 3 weeks off to deal with this concussion. So Philly they locked in the number 2. They're not going anywhere. They're number 2. So they either playing Washington or Green Bay. And luckily, Philadelphia played Green Bay week 1, and they played Washington a couple weeks ago. They lost because Jalen Hurts went out. But they did beat both teams in the regular season. So who would the 3rd seed be? I believe the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. Because number 1 is the NFC North, number 2 is the NFC East. Yeah, the NFC West is the 3 seed right now. Because whoever wins between Atlanta and Tampa Bay will be the 4th.
In my personal
So,
opinion, you spoke about them playing Monday night last year. I don't
mhm.
think we should have any playoff game on a Monday night. I think it should be Saturday and Sunday. Leave it to the two
I
free
agree.
days that people got.
I agree. Greed is killing the NFL. That they're doing too much.
A lot of us work on Monday. We don't want to try to rush home or rush by the grocery store to get some stuff, to get ready to have a little playoff game party if our team is playing. We want to be able to relax and drink and have a good time.
Yep.
By the time the game come on, I need to be 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah, that's I've never heard of a Monday night playoff game till last year. That although it was my team, we got destroyed 32-9 by the Bucks. I'll never forget that. I got some more to say about that game later too.
All
Um,
right. Well,
but
let's
before we move on to today, um, the Bengals, they one of the hottest teams. Uh, One of the hottest teams in the league. They won 5 straight. They hung on. They beat the Steelers 19-17 last night. The Steelers look awful, man. They lost 4 straight. We was lauding Russell Wilson early in the season, um, how good he looks. He's fell. That offense has fell off. They fell completely off. They just don't look good. They don't look good at all. That's just the gist of it. I don't see them winning next week.
tell us two different teams. I mean, T. Higgins gonna get whatever the hell he want now because with him in the lineup, they played so much better.
Hmm.
Um, They speaking of, did you see that catch he made last night?
I did.
Lee, he had to high point that one.
I did.
But anyway, they play a whole lot better with T. Higgins, and it's rumored that he will take a little less to stay long term, which is which is going to be good for them. Supposedly, Joe Burrow is willing to restructure his contract to keep him. We'll
Mhm.
see how that goes.
I was about to say, Cincinnati, they kind of up against it. But right now, as far as the playoffs go, they are in wait and see mode. Um, Burrow came out last night and said he does not want to go on. He said he came in with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He wants that to go on, and he's willing to do what he can. He did come out and publicly say that. Um, right now, Cincinnati, they have $60 million in cap space, and they have to figure out a way to sign Chase, Higgins, also Mike Hilton and DJ Reed or BJ Hill.
And we have discussed this before. And for those that don't know, when you do these guaranteed contracts, the moment that contract is signed, the guaranteed money goes into an escrow account. So that
Mm,
means you have to already have that money available to go into an escrow account to save for that player. In case something happens, he still gets his money.
yep,
Browns ownership does not have. I mean, Bengals. I said Browns. God, they used to be. Bengals ownership does not have a whole lot of money for guaranteed contracts.
they don't. I don't know how they're gonna pull it off, but
Hey man, get your man Trey.
I don't pay no attention because man,
But he right. We make we make we make time for what's important because if the Titans were playing on a Monday night in the playoffs, I'd take a sick day if I had to. But
I mean, it's true.
I ain't
Some
gotta take
things
no
you
sick
just
days
want to.
though.
I think as sports fans, sometimes we spoil and we want things to stay the way we want it to stay. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
On a good note, I don't have to worry about that, do I?
And then too, what if your team plays on Saturday and they got a player that's injured, that's a game time decision, but he may be available to play on Monday. Not, hypothetically speaking, just like we talking about
Each
uh,
situation is different.
the situation is always different. But I'm excited for today's games because we'll have some finality. We'll get to see the playoff seedings. We'll get to see everything go on. So I'm excited, man, to get it going. See what we can talk about. See if we can win these people some money.
Winning some money, just keep your money. Don't even bet today on NFL. Look at the NBA.
They're not gonna do it. And I tell you what, the Celtics play the Thunder today at 2:40 while the NFL is on. But we'll go ahead.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of these matchups for today. You got the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots.
Hmm.
The Bills are locked into the number seed. They are likely to give a bunch of younger players like Ricky Ray Davis opportunities. Um, I'm not even sure who the fucking backup quarterback is.
Who, the Bills?
Yeah, that's how much damn
Is it
fucking
not
Josh
Mitchell
Allen they're playing.
Trubisky?
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
I don't have much for this game. I know if the Patriots lose, they get the number one seed. I think that's right.
I hope they win.
Um,
The number one pick, number one pick. You said seed.
yeah, seed number one pick. My bad.
I hope they win.
I mean it wouldn't do no good because y'all just gonna pick Atlanta. But
Now, now that gives us opportunity to trade down.
then you'll just pick up Kirk Cousins and you'll go on.
Man, shut up. Shut up. Kirk Cousins might go to Cleveland.
It is some wind of Cleveland getting another veteran quarterback. I don't know how they're gonna work that out, but anywho, Like you said, the Bills are locked into the number 2 seed. They don't really have nothing to play for. They have some incentive based things, but this is not a game that I don't see why you would watch it.
Von Miller needs one sack for $1.5 million incentive.
He may get that. They may give him a half to get the sack.
Ooh, hey man, look, coach, put me in.
Yeah, and then too, when you're dealing with these incentives, it says a lot about what the team thinks of you.
Yes.
If you need a catch or a sack and they don't play you, says a lot about what the team what they think of you,
Or at least
especially if you want it.
give you the option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dawson Knox needs 8 receptions and 89 receiving yards for a $200,000 incentive. Now, he may be the number one tight end today, the number one option, but I just do not see him getting. I don't see him getting the 8 catches for 89 yards. They have to force
Nah,
feed him.
I don't see, especially with Mitchell Trubisky throwing him the ball.
Yeah, they'd have to force feed him.
Today is going to be tough too. We keep going off script. It is still some fantasy leagues going on, and they have championships today. So they're going to have to figure out how to navigate through all of what's going on today. So if your fantasy QB1 is Josh Allen, and let's say your backup is CJ Stroud, you in trouble today. You gonna have to figure out something. And good luck to you, but it's a lot of fantasy championships today. I don't know why, but it's a lot of fantasy championships today. And I have been seeing a lot of people trying to hustle and bustle and see what they can get.
If you are in a league and their playoff championship is today, you need to talk to your commissioner. Let him know if he wants you to stay next year, he needs to move that back a week because the very last week of the NFL season, having the championship game for fantasy football is the worst thing in the world because you don't think about that when you're picking your players.
Mm-mm, you do not. And most of the time, let's just be honest, in fantasy football, you're picking great players off good teams. And most of the time, they're not going to play this last week because they're already set in where they're going to be in the postseason. So,
All right. Javon asked who's still looking to get into playoffs. Dolphins and Broncos.
Dolphins,
And Bengals.
Broncos, Bengals.
Yeah.
And I mean, the NFC is set. They just need that
See,
place.
Bucks in Atlanta. Yeah. Next matchup we got is New York Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon has elected to, well, he got elected to not go for his rushing record, um, which is interesting because he could do it against the Giants, the team that did not sign him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Saquon seems to be a student of the game, student of NFL history, and knows that his place is not in those top names without him having to go over um, OJ, the Killer Man. He has one of the best seasons in NFL history, 143 yards per game in 14 games.
Hmm.
Nobody's gonna ever do that again. Eric Dixon.
So I'm glad you brought this up. I'm going to address this because it's been heavy discussion and people been asking me what I feel like, how I feel about it, and I've told people as a fan, if you watch the game, yes, you want to see Saquon Barkley break the record. Who doesn't? A lot of people are giving Eric Dickerson flack because he said he don't want Saquon to break the record. He shouldn't. He has an ego. He's a former player. You don't, even if you like somebody, you never want to see your record get broke. We can be a people person and all that or whatever. Eric Dickerson was a great back, but just like you said, in my opinion, I believe it was 1973 when O.J. Simpson was the first to get 2,014 games. I think that was the greatest rushing season in NFL history.
Orenthal J. Simpson.
Yeah. In my opinion, I would love to see Saquon get the record. But I also have to remember last year, the Eagles played their starters in the last game. A.J. Brown hurt his knee, and Jalen Hurts dislocated his middle finger on his throwing hand. Although we was on a 8-game losing streak or whatever we was on, we was probably going to lose anyway. But to go into a wild card game already as the underdog, your starting quarterback is hurt and your wide receiver one is hurt, you don't want to take that chance. So I understand it. Do I like it? No. I wanted him to break the record against New York today. I don't think New York would have stopped him from getting 100 yards. Hell, they didn't stop him from getting 180. But I will say he has had chances to break this record. He sat out 3 or 4 games where he could have went back in if he wanted to. He could have had this record 2 or 3 games ago if he
Hmm.
chose to. But that's not who Saquon is, and we have to accept that. And if he goes out there today, and let's just say the Giants are by any means necessary not going to let him get no yards, and somebody hit him in his knee or
Stack the
something
box.
like that, and he's gone, we done.
Yeah, you might look at Kenneth Gainwell or Will Shipley for some yards today.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I would look at Will Shipley for possibly some receiving yards.
Hmm.
Um, I want to say that the Giants are still going to be playing a lot of their players because they're going to be evaluating players. Um, they were in line for the number one pick, but Drew Lock said, "Okay, you plan on drafting my replacement next year. I'm going to go out here and mess this up." And he
He
messed it
did.
up for him. He went out there and won.
And I like that. I don't want to see teams tank. I don't.
Mm-mm.
Especially the Giants. But, play the game, man. If I'm different. Maybe I'm old school. I'm different. Play the game. If you get the 1 seed, you get it. If you don't, you don't. I know as fans we supposed to think different, but it is what it is with me, man. I'm not changing, man. Play the game. You out there, play the game.
Speaking of last games and implications, remember when Lovie Smith was the coach of the Texans,
Houston, yep.
Houston?
He won that last game.
He won. If he had lost that last game, Houston would have got the first pick. But instead, he went out, made sure they won that game. They ended up getting the second pick. I mean, it worked out in their favor because they ended up getting C.J. Stroud.
Yep,
But I like stories like that where you have a chance to fuck your team that's gonna fire you because he knew he was fired.
absolutely. Lovie Smith is one of the good coaches and good people in the league too. He should have a coaching job, but we can go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, of course, like we said, the Eagles like their number two. They're gonna rest a lot of players. So, if you're gonna bet on some of the backups.
Hmm.
Carolina Panthers at Atlanta Falcons. Uh, Bryce Young is not the Bryce Young that we saw earlier in the year. Um, After his benching and having a chance to sit and watch and learn, he's had a chance to pick up this offense. He's starting to look better. The Falcons need a win and the Buccaneers to lose to clinch the NFC South
Yep.
and the number 4 seed.
Hmm.
Um, Atlanta rushing game is looking good.
They
Uh,
finally giving Bijan Robinson the ball. Funny how that helps.
yep, and Penix is looking a little bit better than Kirk Cousins.
He is. Kirk Cousins is gone.
Oh, he is. I kind of questioned the decision to go ahead and start Mike Penix these last couple of games because, of course, they were still in the playoff hunt,
Hmm.
but it has worked out for them.
It did. I'm glad it did too. I like Michael Penix. I've liked him since I believe he started. I think he started at Indiana in college. I know he played
Yeah.
for Indiana.
He was heavily recruited and was committed to the University of Tennessee.
He made a hell of a decision not to go.
Well, I can't remember if it was Butch Jones or Jeremy Pruitt, but whichever one it was that came in at that time, um, wasn't sold on that type of quarterback. So yes, he went to Indiana. And
Excellent choice, Michael Penny.
hey, you know what? As a Tennessee fan, I think it was an excellent choice for him too, because we were a shit show during that time. What's the spread on this game?
Atlanta, seven and a
Seven and
half
a
point
half.
favorites.
You know, it might be a little closer than that. This is division game. Carolina might want to be a spoiler.
Carolina's gonna play today.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you.
they still got young players that are starters that need to be evaluated for next season.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, the coach staff is still being evaluated. They're a brand new coaching staff.
Yeah, they're gonna play today. Adam Thielen still looks like he's 21 years old too. That is amazing to me.
Hmm. Next up,
This should be a blowout.
the New Orleans Saints versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This should be a complete blowout. Well, they got Tampa Bay favored by 15, so that should tell you everything you need to know about this game.
Yep.
They
You got
should cover.
Mike Evans going for his incentives,
Hmm
which are 85 yards, and this is just 85 yards.
I think it was 82. I don't know if y'all was on the show when it first started, but we talked about this. We touched on it. Mike Evans needs 82 yards today to get another 1,000-yard season.
And 5
Uh,
receptions.
don't try to go on FanDuel and bet Mike Evans to get 80. They're ahead of the game. It's not on there. He's either 90 or better, and that's what you're gonna have to bet. Are you willing to take it? Because you know if he get a catch and he got 85 yards, he coming out. You already know what's for that.
And don't quote me, but I think the Saints are one of those teams that doesn't want to see anybody get incentives because they don't want to spend any money.
Hmm
But Marquez Valdez Scantling needs one receiving touchdown to get $250,000 incentive.
I hope he get it.
I hope he do too.
I hope he gets it, man. Chris Olave, he's out. The Saints have decided to keep him out for the rest of the season after getting that concussion, so he's not playing today. Of course, you already know about Kamara and all these things. The Saints will probably look completely brand new. They are going to hit the reset button in this off season. They're gonna move people, bring people in. I don't expect much out of them today. Like I said, they're a 15-point underdog. Tampa Bay should win this going away.
Well,
Bucky Irvin, Mike Evans, if you want to play them for a touchdown, you can. But like we told you earlier, today is not a good betting day, so we can't promise you nothing.
I was gonna say something about the Saints that popped in my head, but I can't even think of what it is. Oh yeah, it's a recurring theme today with teams like the Saints. Talent evaluation.
Hmm
Teams that have absolutely nothing to play for will be evaluating talent unless they're trying to be the spoiler. And I don't think the Saints are going to be any kind of spoilers of anything the Bucks are going to try to do today.
No.
I look for them to get up early and to start resting players.
hmm
Over on the Buccaneers. Oh, he's in line for a head coaching job. He's gonna get his interviews, and it's gonna depend on how he interviews on whether he's gonna stay or not. And I've brought up his name several times this year, especially when we start talking about Will Levis.
hmm
Because Will Levis' only good season was with Lynn Cohn as his offensive coordinator at the University of Kentucky. He put him in position to be a top quarterback prospect. He left and went to the Rams as offense coordinator. Will Levis fell off. Will Levis ain't did shit since.
At Baker Mayfield, I ain't got it with you today because it is what it is. Baker Mayfield played his ass off this year. My hat's off to him. I seen him struggle in Cleveland, and I've seen him after losing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin keep this team afloat with Bucky Irvin and Cade Otton and those guys missing time and plays. Baker Mayfield deserved whatever accolade he get this year. He earned his contract this year, and congrats to him. I'm not above giving somebody their credit. He had a hell of a season this year.
So if you've been paying attention to any sports page that posts memes and shit all the time,
Hmm.
the Carolina Panthers had him and Sam Darnold
They
on their
did.
roster at the same time a couple of years ago
They surely did.
and let both of them walk.
Baker Mayfield, and I'm glad to see these players get these second chances because Baker Mayfield he was written off after that shit in Cleveland. Sam Darnold has went from the Jets to the Rams. To the Panthers. He just been everywhere. And now he's with Minnesota. You get some good coaching around him. You get some good players around him. You get some winning mentality around them, and they having hell of a season. So I'm happy about that. I really am. And Tampa Bay is a team you do not want to see.
I'm glad to see Todd Bowles continue to get an opportunity because he was kind of on the hot seat.
Hmm.
But those guys are playing for him.
Yep.
Javon, we will answer that question shortly. Next game up, Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Of course, the Bears have no playoff stakes.
Yeah.
They are focusing on player development also. The Packers are locked into the playoffs, but can upgrade from number 7 seed to the number 6 seed with a win and a Commanders loss.
Man, a Rams Packers first round game would be crazy. A complete shootout.
Yeah, and this game is going to be depending on what the ownership wants and what the coaching staff wants.
Hmm.
Because do they just settle for what they got in the 7th seed and rest their players to keep from getting injured, or do they go all out and try to move up a spot, knowing that the Commanders can still win and they not get that spot?
Yeah. See, I tell you, the part about the NFC, I know that we got the QB talent in the AFC. You're going to see that in any game that you see in the AFC in the playoffs. You got superstar quarterbacks all over left and right. All of these wild card non-division teams and all these teams in the NFC, it is not just one clear favorite. Detroit, yeah, we'll say they're the favorite, but between Philly, Minnesota, at Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Rams, all of them, if they get hot and they play their good game, they can all beat each other. So I'm predicting unpredictability for the NFC side of the playoffs next weekend. It can be some wild things happening.
I think the Bears can come out and surprise these boys today if they are not fully invested in moving up a spot.
Who is that?
The Bears and Green Bay. I think the Bears can come out and surprise them if the Packers are not fully invested in
Oh,
moving
yeah.
up a spot
That's a for real rivalry. They don't like each other.
at all.
They don't like each other.
And it don't matter if you 0-17 versus 17-0.
Hmm.
You come out and lose that game, even if it means something. Um, I would possibly look at sprinkling some Josh Jacobs into a parlay. I would go for his full line. I'd probably water it down because he's probably going to get some touches early. If they get ahead, they'll probably start resting them.
Yeah, maybe a touchdown. Packers are they're a 9.5 point favorite.
You might look at Eugene Wilson. He's been getting the ball lately in late in games when they're up.
Yeah, the backup running back.
Yep. But anyway, there's not a lot going on with that game. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Indianapolis Colts. It's not a whole lot there.
Colts blew it last week, losing to the Giants.
Mm,
I say this about Jacksonville. I really don't get into Pro Bowl snubs and all pro snubs and things like that. It can be debated. I don't think it should be. I think Brian Thomas Jr. should have went to the Pro Bowl over Zay Flowers this year. Better numbers, better stats. I know Zay Flowers is on the winning team, but Zay Flowers is a first-time Pro Bowler. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. over 1,200 yards the season that he had.
On the
Um,
team that he had.
I think he should have got the Pro Bowl nod.
I can't even argue that. I totally agree.
On the other side, the Colts, like I said, they blew it against the Giants last week. It's been a little spat if you've been paying attention on if you watch the Pat McAfee show. He's been complaining about leadership in the locker room with the Colts, and Zaire Franklin went on a podcast and said that last week he wanted to play a sorry team so they could get into the playoffs, and of course they choked. So he gave Pat McAfee a little bit more ammunition, and Pat McAfee went on his show and said they need to get Zaire Franklin he said the F word. They need to get him the F up out of there. So I mean, it's something to just, I guess, keep a side eye on in the off season. Zaire Franklin, he's been breaking Indianapolis Colts tackles record all the last 2 seasons. He's been a Pro Bowl caliber player, so we'll see. But other than that, no interest in this game.
So back to Brian Thomas. Um the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh was wanting to draft either Joe Alt or Brian Thomas this past year, and they went ahead and chose Joe Alt.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, if they had drafted Brian Thomas, would they have still taken Ladd McConkey? And man, think about that offense with Brian Thomas, Quentin Johnson, Ladd McConkey.
They probably wouldn't have took Ladd. I wish they would have took Ladd, but they probably wouldn't have took him.
Yeah, so that probably worked out in their favor because Joe Alt he played well for a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be fine over there on that left side for years to go.
Doug Peterson come back.
There was a story I meant to read, but the title of the story was the Jaguars may have laid the foundation for Doug Peterson to not return. And honestly, you got a lot of hot coordinators out here that that are looking to move on to their own head coaching job, and then you still have a few very good head coaches without jobs. They're looking too. And as much as I want to go against Vrabel,
Mm-hmm.
um, I really can't because some of his issues may have went down to Titans ownership.
Yeah.
Does the man deserve to have another job? Probably. He was
Mm-hmm.
a winner while he was here. I mean, I don't know what all goes on internally with him that made them go away from him, but give the man an opportunity. At least let him interview.
I think the black eye against Mike Vrabel was the players coming out after he got fired, talking about how much of an asshole he was and how he got arrogant and winning coach of the year turned him into just like a egotist. I think that's how you say it.
I mean, he learned from Belichick.
That is facts. Uh, Mike Vrabel, while he was in Tennessee, say what you want, but he won games.
He did.
Whatever injuries he had, he worked through them. They was the number 1 seed one year. Um, didn't they go to the AFC Championship game?
I believe so. He was also too loyal to coordinators that should have been fired.
Yeah. I think he'll get another chance. I've always said this Jacksonville job is the most intriguing to me because I like Trevor Lawrence. How could you not like Brian Thomas? You have ETN, you got Tank Bixby, you got Christian Kirk, you got Gabe Davis, you got Evan Ingram, you got a pretty good defense that got the number 1 pick from 2 years ago, Javon Walker, or was that last year?
Javon Walker was 2 years ago.
I think it was 2 years ago. You still got Josh Allen. He's a terror. You got Tyson Campbell. He's one of the most underrated cornerbacks in the game. This is a talented team in a not so talented division. I mean, This team can make some noise if they just get the right coaching.
So, quick question, and we'll move on. Do you bring in a veteran head coach, or do you bring in a young offensive minded coordinator to be the head coach?
I think with a young quarterback and a young team, I think you got to have a young new mind. That's why I keep saying Ben Johnson. I would love to see Ben Johnson
We know where he going.
coach this team. I don't know if he gonna go. You think he going to
He
Chicago?
going to Chicago.
I don't know if he gonna go.
He is going to Chicago.
I
Book it.
don't think I hear you and I know what he wants, but sometimes what you want ain't what you need.
You right, because Chicago will fumble a bag.
And I'm telling you, once he does that interview, if he goes to Jacksonville and sees what they have, first of all, you don't have to deal with Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota. That's what you're gonna have to deal with. So
Hmm.
you're already looking at 4 or 5 losses for you accept this job. I know we love challenges and all that. You can take that job and you'll probably get fired in 2 years if you last that damn long. Or you can go over here to this team in the AFC South. You know, Houston, they decent. We'll see what they do, but they're not world beaters. You're just as talented as Houston, if not more. You got Indy, and they iffy, and you got a team Tennessee that's about to go through a rebuild. I'm just saying. I would rather coach Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas, and Travis Etienne than I would Caleb Williams. And Keenan Allen is leaving. I think Keenan Allen is leaving. In his heart of hearts, I think he wants to go back to the Chargers. He's even came out and said that he'll either be in Chicago or he'll be with the Chargers. So
He probably wasn't able to sell his house or something.
yeah, and will DeAndre Swift come back? I don't know.
Yeah, they have a lot of questions there. Anyway, Houston, Texas, and Tennessee Titans. And to answer Javon's question from earlier, are the Titans keeping QB1? Today, they are playing both quarterbacks.
Yep.
Why? I don't know, other than talent evaluation. Because right now, if I know Rand Carthen's mindset, everybody's under a microscope. No position is safe. Hell, I'd probably go as far to say no coordinator position is safe right now.
Hmm.
Um, they're probably going to keep Brian Callahan. There's too much guaranteed money in his contract, and I think he signed for 4 or 5 years. So they're probably going to give him another year to see where he's at. But I think the coordinator Nick Holtz, he might be under the microscope, or they may tell Brian Callahan, you need to give up play calling duties.
The beautiful thing about this game is Tennessee is favorite.
And still probably gonna lose by 15. Mason Rudolph might go out there and give us a shot, and then Will Levis to go out there and act like he got shot.
Will Levis gonna have a career game today.
Don't say that.
I'm, Houston is not playing their starters.
If Will
You
Levis
know how this. Come on.
if Will Levis goes out and have a career game, that will be an unfair evaluation, and he will look a lot better than he actually is. We will pass on an NFL quarterback in the first round, and here we
Can I
go
can
again.
I give a hot take? We
Neither
may
one of the
lose some subscribers, but we gonna gain 10.
neither one of the quarterbacks that are number one or number two need to go to the Titans anyway. There you go. There's your hot take.
Will Levis is gonna be on the Titans next season. If Will Levis was black, his ass would not start today, and he would not be on the Titans next season. Let's just be honest about what we're saying here. We know how Tennessee Titans and the organization treat their not so good white quarterbacks versus black quarterbacks that have talent. If you mad about that, you cancel me. I ain't under contract. It don't make me no damn difference.
Well,
That's just the facts. They're playing Will Levis today because they want to keep him. They
well,
do not want to draft another quarterback. And if they do, at the number 2 seed is going to be Shador or it's going to be Cam Ward, and we all know what's going to happen. So just stick with Will Levis. sign Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins, go 10-7, go to the playoffs. Let's keep this shit going until they open up the new
And
stadium.
and you know what? Honestly, I would prefer for them to go ahead and skip over all the quarterbacks in this year's draft. Let's go ahead and run with the veteran quarterback next year that we signed in free agency, or we can run it back with Will Levis and suck again because there's going to be quarterbacks available the following year. What, man?
It's just this team, bro. Like, I don't. People think that I really, really hate this team, and I don't. They just make stupid ass decisions.
They do.
Like,
Um,
they should have a Super Bowl by now. I'm standing on that hill. You had the greatest running back of our generation on your team for what? At least 9 years, I'm sure, if not longer. You've had wide receivers come through here. You had Hall of Fame wide receivers come through here. You got them on their last leg. Why? Why are you getting Randy Moss and Andre Johnson and they can't play no more?
well,
You had AJ Brown. You didn't want to pay him because you was trying to hold on to a few million. You lost him. AJ Brown first season, he beat you 35-10. They go to the Super Bowl. Stop doing it.
well, in their defense, Rand Carthon was not there yet. Um,
He wasn't.
he
It's nothing against Ram Carthon. It's just since you went to the Super Bowl and every quarterback that you've had that's been worth something, let's just be honest, they've been black. Steve McNair took you to the Super Bowl, you locked him out of the facility. You didn't want him there no more. Come on, man. Like,
Vince Young came in. Jeff
Vince
Fisher ruined
Young
his
came
career.
in, he led you to the playoffs. Jeff Fisher didn't want him there. He wanted Jay Cutler. Come on, man. Like that. Malik Willis was there. Malik Willis was a hell of a quarterback at Liberty. Everybody keeps saying he can't throw. You throw him into the game against Kansas City, he almost win the game with no wide receiver talent. You get rid of him, he go to Green Bay, he has wide receiver talent. He comes back and whoops the shit out of y'all. And then you get Will Levis, you give him Calvin Ridley, Tyler Boyd, DeAndre Hopkins, Tony Pollard. You give him all this talent, and he can't throw a fit without it getting intercepted. So you telling me Malik Willis wouldn't have done a better job than Will Levis this year? You crazy as hell. So it's hard to root for him because I don't understand.
I, you know what? I agree with everything that you're saying. I'm not here to debate that at all because everything that you said is absolutely correct. From a Titans fan, that is absolutely correct. But if you look at how some of these contracts have been structured since Rand Carthon came,
Hmm.
um, he has been working to get rid of dead cap, and he's been setting up the contracts that he has people sign to not leave us a bunch of dead cap if they are traded or if they are cut. So these next few years will be telling. This will be his third year coming this year. So we'll see what happens. This next year is gonna be it. And Trey said Pac-Man said Young ruined himself. And you know what? I will say, back in those days, I was working security in clubs downtown. And there
Oh
were
my
there were
goodness.
many times where I would see Vince Young and Lindell White in the club partying, drinking Patron. As a matter of fact, I almost got to fight with Pac-Man one night.
I was just about to say Vince Young tried to holler at my ex-girlfriend, and I stopped liking Vince Young until he went to Philadelphia. I ain't with her no more, so that's neither here nor there. But yeah, we would go to the club. I remember the club. It was Karma. We would go on Thursday night. It was Kenny Britt. It was Vince Young. It was Lindell White. Sometimes Nate Washington was there. And they would buy the whole section. They would spend all their money, buy all the bottles, and all the girls would go over there. And then Sunday they lose 55-10 to
Hold
Green
on.
Bay.
Carmen, is that the one where Banana Joe's and Hurricanes was?
It may be because you had to walk up some steps to get to it. I don't know now. Shit, I ain't been out in
Hey,
like
hey,
15 years.
hey, man. Downtown ain't the same
I
no more.
couldn't tell you, but uh, I mean, if you are a young QB, you come in, you just got shafted from from the Heisman Trophy. I mean, Reggie Bush had a hell of a season, but I thought Vince Young, he had a chance. That was a good. You had the greatest, one of the top five greatest college football games I had ever seen. One of the greatest college football performances that you'll ever see in a national championship game. You get drafted number 3 to the Tennessee Titans. They don't play you. The quarterback get hurt. You come in. You win your last 6 or 7 games. You make the Pro Bowl. You go to the playoffs. Come to find out it goes public. You and your coach, y'all beefing. The coach don't want you. And then too, Pac-Man is one of the worst people to say anybody ruined themselves because he's still ruining himself to the day.
Actually, I don't think he's ruining himself today. He's matured.
He just
He's
got
do,
in trouble.
he's doing some things better. What did he get in trouble for?
He got arrested for what did
For
he just
fighting?
get
For
arrested for?
fighting?
Huh?
For fighting?
I think he was fighting. He done something.
People know he a hothead. They will try him just to agitate him.
Public intoxication, assaulting a police officer. That's what it was. So
Anyway,
that's not a reliable source there. So that's what
hey,
I'm saying.
you know what? I like shows like this when we don't have a whole lot to talk about. We go off a little bit and get into detail with stuff, but we almost to our time and we still got a couple games to go. So let's move on.
Oh,
Oh, in this game, I would probably look at Joe Mixon. I don't Joe Mixon or Damian Pierce.
mhm.
Damian Pierce might get an opportunity to play again. Tony Pollard is not playing today, so he will not get his incentives. Um, Kenneth Murray needs half a sack for 250,000. Arden
Mhm.
Key needs 1.5 sacks for 500,000. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. Commanders need to secure the number 6 seed. Otherwise, they'll fall to the number 7 if the Packers win.
Rico Dowdle, oh, you got it right here on the notes. He's been one of the best running backs in the game for the past month or so.
Yeah, which is surprising.
Uh, for whatever reason, Ezekiel Elliott wants to get released and come to Philadelphia.
He got released. They
He
gave
did
him the
get
walking.
released. That's right.
They,
He
they
did
gave
get
him the
released.
walking papers.
Yeah. I don't have much for this game. Washington, you need to win. Dallas they're not going to let you win. This is an old NFC East rivalry. Y'all hate each other. Michael Parsons, although he said some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard in my life last week, he gonna come out here and he gonna try to get to Jaden Daniels. That's what it's gonna be. They're gonna try to win this game, especially knowing if you lose this game and Green Bay win, y'all got to play Philly next week. So
Zach Ertz for the Commanders. He needs 9 receptions for a $250,000 bonus. He needs 90 plus receiving yards for another 250,000. He needs 2 receiving touchdowns for another 250,000.
mhm.
I think the most achievable one of that will actually be the 2 receiving touchdowns.
That's what I think so too.
I'd put him down for 2 today, but I wouldn't put a lot of money on it.
No.
All right. I think the Commanders are going to win that one. But Dallas has been playing. Mike McCarthy's coaching for his job, I should say.
That's a
Which
whole other.
we'll have another episode talking about some of these coaching situations real soon.
Mhm.
It's in the works. San Francisco versus Arizona Cardinals.
49ers just playing. Brock Purdy got hurt last week. I'm sure you won't see him today.
Josh Dobbs is starting, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Josh Dobbs might go out there and audition for another job. People will sign him, let him come in. He'll play a good game. He'll get benched. He'll go somewhere else, play another good game, get benched.
That's what he do.
I mean, he's a damn genius, but give the man an opportunity to play ball. I got the Cardinals in this one. I don't think San Francisco is going to do a whole lot.
Mhm.
Uh, Kyler Murray needs 50 plus rushing yards and one rushing touchdown for a $750,000 incentive. I think he will go for it.
Oh yeah, he definitely gonna go for it.
I want to say that his rushing line was like 30 something yards. I definitely play that. I might even pair it as a parlay with his anytime touchdown. Seattle Seahawks and Los Angeles Rams. This should be a pretty good game.
The Rams actually got to win this game.
Hmm.
Um, the Seahawks, they blew their chances at the playoffs. They lost. Leonard Williams was having a hell of a season. He's having a Pro Bowl season, but he felt he got snubbed. So he probably gonna try to take that out this week on the Rams. The Rams got to win this game to hold on to the 3 seed. If not, they'll drop to 4, and Tampa Bay could possibly go up to 3. So that's something to watch. Um, do you
Geno
play
Smith.
Puka Nakua?
Um,
Maybe
no,
Kyron Williams for a
I'm.
touchdown.
I mean, honestly, it's iffy. I would. I mean, you have to because they're playing for something,
Yeah.
and there's not a whole lot to bet on today. I would look for Geno Smith to go over 200 yards.
Surprisingly, before we move on, Seattle is favored by 7.
I don't know. Is that because they expect Geno to go for his incentive and put up numbers?
I
Because
don't know.
right,
They're favored by 7, and the total is low too, 38 and a half. I don't know.
because right now, Geno is 185 yards away from $2 million incentive.
He gonna get that.
Let me look at something real quick. Injuries, Rams. Karen Williams is doubtful. Matthew Stafford is doubtful. Cooper Cup doubtful. Puka Nakua doubtful.
Okay, so they really don't care about the seeding then.
Yep, yep.
Okay,
That explains that. You might be careful playing any of them. Then
that explains it. They don't care about where they go,
they just know that they in.
and they get the
Um,
home game.
Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. At the New York Jets, it's cold, and we know Miami's history in cold games. They don't do well.
And surprisingly, this is a pick'em game.
Snoop is starting again. Tour's out.
Yeah, two was out. I could do a whole show on the New York Jets alone, but it's a pick'em game. Miami need to win this game.
Mm.
Uh, it's surprising that it is a pick'em game, but Miami needs to win this game, and they need Denver to lose to clinch the playoffs.
I don't know. I like to see Snoop go out there and do good because I mean he went to the Pro Bowl a few years back as a backup.
Hmm.
Um, and he hasn't played horrible in his time in Miami when he comes in, but I'd like to see him play a little bit better. Um, Hopefully he plays well today,
Yep.
gives them an opportunity to win because the Jets they're really not playing for anything other than player evaluations again. As far as incentives, there is a local product, Tyrell Dotson, who is a linebacker for the Miami Dolphins. He needs one sack for $300,000. So I'd love to see him get that just because he's a local guy. We can move on to the Chargers versus Raiders.
Hmm.
Chargers can
Chargers are
upgrade.
6.5 point favorite. They should win this game.
They should, unless the Raiders want to play spoil sport.
And I say this, they can move into that number. I think the Chargers will go all out to win this game because they can go to number 5 with Pittsburgh losing, and they will play Houston next week. And I think they would rather play Houston than Baltimore.
I know I would.
I absolutely would. So I think the Chargers go all out in this game. I think they try to blow out the Raiders. Maybe rest their starters in the fourth quarter if possible, because I think it's all on them. You win, you the number 5 seed. You go to Houston indoors. You play Houston, and you'll probably be favorite. Honestly,
The only thing I'd worry about on the Raiders right now is Brock Bowers.
that's it.
He's quickly approaching record setting numbers as far as receiving yards for rookie tight ends. I don't remember exactly how many he needs, but it's not a lot.
Hmm.
Um, is J.K. Dobbins playing today?
He should because he played last week.
He needs 58 rushing yards for a $150,000 incentive. Alexander Madison needs 8+ receptions for 125,000. Are they just gonna dump it out of the backfield on him all day? Doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it.
All right, yeah, I would definitely take the Chargers in this one. I would even take the points.
They should win that game. Now, come on now, Chargers. No, don't be bullshit today. Do what
All
you
right,
got to do. Get it done. Go to Houston next week.
all right. We got the Kansas City Referees versus the Denver Broncos.
A lot of people are just. Maybe this is the game that I'm gonna surprise people with. I don't think Kansas City just gonna lay down and let Denver win. Now, on the flip note, it's 50-50. They may not want to let Joe Burrow get in the playoffs as hot as Cincinnati looking right now. So this is kind of up. It's kind of up to both teams. But I think Kansas City is going to go out here and put forth an effort to not let Denver get in. But if not, you know why? Because that man,
I mean, it's been said over and over by every sports outlet in the world, and I'm gonna say it again. Nobody wants to face the Bengals in the playoffs.
nobody. And I say it here, a hot take or not. If I could pick one quarterback to run my team, I'm taking Joe Burrow.
Yeah, yeah, he's been super hot lately. Um, DeAndre Hopkins has a few incentives: 9+ receptions or 140 plus receiving yards,
Mhm.
or 1+ receiving touchdown. He gets $250,000 incentive for either one of those. I would put him down for anytime touchdown today, possibly.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that.
Cortland Sutton needs 82+ receiving yards for 500,000. That's very possible with this being a pretty much must-win game for Denver.
Yeah. I know we running short on time. Let me touch on this. It's probably better for a cooler talk, but a lot of people are mad because Patrick Mahomes didn't make the Pro Bowl. Over Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow, how the hell is Patrick Mahomes going to make the Pro Bowl? He
Look at
didn't
his
have
early
a great
season.
year this year.
He wasn't winning those games for them.
Yes. And it's okay. We're not saying that he's not good. He just wasn't better than them. And it's okay. You can't make them all. Anyway,
Some
go ahead.
sometimes your team has to win games for you instead of your quarterback win them.
Yeah.
And of course, his team won them. The ones in the red and yellow uniforms and the ones in the black and white uniforms.
This is the game right here.
Yep, yep. I might even take me a nap during these other games just so I can watch this one. I
This
need.
is it.
Hey, I might be hung over. If this game is really good, I might be hung over going into work tomorrow because I'm gonna go get me a bottle today. I'm gonna sip on it, and I'm gonna sip on it and sip on it. And I might just turn it up if it gets good.
It's surround sound will be on. Vikings Lions. They both 14-2. Um, Detroit is a 3-point favorite. The over under is a crazy 56.5.
And I would not bet the under for shit.
No, they're expecting this to be a shootout, a close shootout. It's indoors. Weather will not be involved. Let's go. This is it. Whoever win get the number 1 seed. Whoever lose, they number 5. And they'll probably be playing the Rams. And that will probably be a shootout too. So
So for anybody who don't know, everybody knows I'm a Titans fan. Been a Titans fan for years. But there is an NFC team that I cheer for, and it started back when they were on Hard Knocks. I like what Dan Campbell did with this team, the
Mm-hmm.
culture he instilled in this team, and I started watching the Lions because of that. So yes, I pull for the Lions, and I want to see them do good. This is going to be a hell of a game. Minnesota is no joke.
Mm-mm.
They've taken Sam Darnold, turned him into a quarterback. JJ McCarthy might be on the trade block coming into next year. So it's it's interesting to see how this turns out. And it's rare that you have a division battle for top playoff seeding as the very last game of the NFL season. And we got it.
It's gonna be a good one.
Um anything you want to bet? This will be the game to bet. Your
It's
normal
good.
bets throughout the year, your Jameson Williams, your Jameer Gibbs, your Jared Goff, your TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, uh, Aaron Jones, Sam Darnold, all of those bets, they are still in play.
Every single one. Montgomery comes back today, does he not?
I think he does, but I'm pretty sure they'll probably have him limited, man. I don't want to see him get hurt again before the playoff run.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a very good game. But before we get out of here, um, there is still a race for the first overall pick for next year's draft. The Patriots clinch the number one pick if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Please go out and win. Please, I'm begging. The Titans are next in line for the number one pick if the Patriots lose. Titans need to just go and lose today anyway. I mean, we suck. Browns get the first pick if Patriots and Titans. Hold on. If Patriots and Titans win and they lose. Oh yeah, if Patriots and Titans win and the Browns did lose, so
Yeah.
they can still get the number one pick, which they'll jack that off. Could you imagine Shadur going to Cleveland?
Yeah. I could imagine it.
The Giants need all three teams to lose, which one of them has. Um, well, no, they would need the Browns to lose. So the Giants, they probably can't go no higher than four.
Mm-hmm.
So how about Shadur wearing the Giants cleats doing warm up, and then the Giants go out and win?
Yeah, I seen that. He wants to be a Giant. Hey, if he want to be there, he'll get there.
Yep, him and his daddy will find a way. But anyway, we appreciate y'all, man. Like we said all throughout the show, be careful with your betting today because some teams will be resting their starters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's only a couple of games with implications that I would bet on, mainly that Minnesota Vikings Detroit Lions game. Not sure when our next show is, unless it's next Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, we may try to do one before then. We'll see. But
Oh,
we gonna try to.
playoffs start next Saturday, right?
No, playoffs start on a weekday, I believe. I think one is on Friday and one is on Saturday.
You have got to be kidding me.
Matter of fact, I can almost promise you that one of them is on a Friday. One is on January 9th and one is on January 10th. And January 9th is Thursday and January 10th is Friday.
That shit don't make no sense.
Yep. Notre
Oh
Dame,
no.
Penn State is January 9th. Ohio State and Texas is January 10th. And the championship game is on Monday night, January 20th.
You know what? We might do a Wednesday night show.
Yeah, because Black Monday is tomorrow and expect some people to get fired.
Yeah, let's do a show on Wednesday night, 6 o'clock.
I'll be here. Your best bet today would be to bet on some NBA games. It is a bunch of good NBA games on, at least three. You got the Celtics Thunder, Lakers Rockets, and Kings Warriors. Uh, the other three, not so much, but
Yesterday, I was pretty hot on my bets yesterday, Mike. Yesterday I went up 5.5 units. On NBA I was, what was it? Let me sort this shit.
So if
On
y'all follow me on Winnable, I did a stack yesterday for the first time. I did Derrick Henry. I had him for 80, 90, and 100, and he broke off a 40-some yard run late. And all three of those hit. So if you hit that, congratulations. We was in the money yesterday.
yesterday I was 3-1 on NBA, 3-0 on NHL, 1-0 on NCAA football, and 2-1 on NFL bets. So 9-2 yesterday overall, up 5.7 units.
That's
I'm
a
about
good
to get
day.
I'm about to get in the lab and figure out some NBA stuff for the day.
Yep. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Always have fun. Don't bet with your heart. Enjoy it. If I haven't told y'all Happy New Year, I think we've done a show since New Year's.
I think we did. Yeah, we did one.
I think so. If not, Happy New Year. Have fun with it, man. Go watch the game. Hopefully, you're not in a fantasy championship today. And yeah, let's roll. I'm ready. 45 minutes.
Peace out. We appreciate y'all.